Hey people, it's Tuesday, the 23rd of January, and I'm up a little late. Well, it's really not that late, but 9:43. Cheers. Let's go. Lovely. Well, once again, folks, thank you. And let me just actually, before I move on, because I intend to move on from bullshit, let me just check the comments. Thank you for the support, people. Yes, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, they started a channel to attack me, John. Yeah, it's racism. Yes, I call them out, SSP Brazil. Thank you. I do not appreciate people saying I look like Bill Cosby. Okay, now that's because, to me, because of all of his controversy. So whenever people say Bill Cosby, I have a reaction. So don't be calling me, telling me I look like Bill Cosby, okay? Someone said they've been watching me since they're 13 and they're 20 years old now. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you, people, very much for all this. I'm actually hearing from someone who actually contributed to the GoFundMe. Okay. Wow. Okay, I'll wow. And I just want to say to this one person, ignore or turn the other cheek. In our age, you can block. Do you think I'm stupid and don't know? See, those kind of comments piss me off because it's like, what the fuck you think? You think I don't know about the blocking? This is why this is so irksome, because these people are so fucked up. They just block them. They sign up another account. Okay. Yes, and I do appreciate knowing that I have all of this support, and I'll show what I feel like. Okay, I'm not going to change and start doing requests. Someone's asking about osmotantes and something else. Maybe I have it, maybe I don't. Okay, I'm a nice person, but I am irritable. Okay, and that because of my, well, anyway, let's go on to music. Okay, so it didn't happen. I was thinking I was going to maybe pull some records for a special to just thank you all and show you some of my favorites. But again, I had a brain fart, and it's like I can't think like I used to. I used to be able to just look and no, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. Can't anymore. It's because the list is long. But I'll show you the last records that I played, and we'll see where it goes from there. I told the story about Osmontantes when I saw them and met them, and Sergio Diaz and I vibed, and he gave me his home address and phone number and invited me out. I followed up on it and said, was that just a funny moment? He called back and said, no, come on out. So, this record came up. Fixed Planet. It's a compilation. Came out in the 80s, early 80s. German. There was a 7-inch that came with it that I don't have. I found this used. Didn't have the 7-inch. International cooperation is what they say on here. What got me to buy it was the Der Plan, but those are on the single, so I don't have them. But it had a rare Frau Lippo Lippi track on it. And then it's got music from all over the world. Italy, Japan, US, Russia, Iran, Spain, Ecuador. And some of this is has not aged well. It sounds like people just being goopy and silly, and they have a tape recorder. But overall, I enjoy stuff like this. And I'm glad I've held on to records like this. I've gotten rid of a lot of records, and I look back and it's like, man, I do wish that I had it now. I would appreciate it now. I didn't when I had it. As I've said many times, the people in Yellow Magic Orchestra are among my favorite musicians ever. This is an album that is associated with it. Logic System. The album is called Logic. Another 80s album. Hideki Matsutake is the main person behind this project. Yellow Magic Orchestra consulted him, as well as Tomita, in the early days of becoming electronic. This is as good as YMO. It really is. This is really good. I love YMO. YMO. Now, I think this is something that was sent to me. I don't remember buying this. Rudiger Lorenz, Invisible Voices. It's numbered. It's 1,000 copies. This is some of that twinkly one-person synthesizer stuff that came out back in the 70s and 80s. This one is kind of nice, but what I noticed about this record is it's I look at it and I don't know why some vinyl pressings are so noisy, because this looks pristine and it's very noisy. You know, it's like, and you can't see anything. It's like, was this made on like a really low grade quality of vinyl? Anyway, it's interesting. I love the simple graphics on it. I like stuff like this. This is much more my groove than sitting around listening to old stuff on the radio and stuff. This came out last year, and London Brew. They say that this was made in the spirit of Bitches Brew. And it sounds about right, because they're not trying to sound like Miles Davis at all. You know, it's these group improvisations, basically. I must say that this starts off pretty crappy, in my opinion. The first album, the first side, you get through the whole side, and my question was, what did they just do? They basically took all that time to warm up. I bet they recorded everything. It gets better. Raven Bush, Kate Bush's nephew, who was in the band Sid Arthur, who I met and personally put me on the guest list to see them when they opened for Yes years ago, is on here. Shabaka Hutchings is on here. There's good musicians on here. But like I said, I think that they shot themselves in the foot by including that first track on here. It's weak. It's weak. In going through my records the other day, I was looking for stuff that I couldn't remember what it sounded like. For a while, this label out of Sweden, I think, Lamour Records, was sending me records. And then they also included me on a digital compilation, Christmas compilation, a few years ago. So I am technically on that label. But Victor Zeidner, who runs the label as far as I know, has sent me some really good records over the year. And here are two. I'll start with this one. Ljudvägg. Ljudvägg Transformation. Are you interested already just by looking at the cover? Because you should be. This is wonderful. Wonderful. There's no information on the album about the personnel. But this is wonderful. This is in that area of where Eno and John Hassel really took ambient music to a wonderful place. This is really good. Real good. It's like, this is an example of music that is, no one's going to hear about it, maybe except for their friends, but this deserves, this is really good. Transformation. Ljudvägg. And then another one that I got from L'Amour Records. This is Lisa and Kroffe. Roslagensfamn. Look at that cover. It sounds like the cover. This sounds like the cover. Cluster and Eno. No, not Cluster and Eno. Harmonia and Cluster. Michael Rother. That's what this music is like. But it's not a copy. But you can hear that that's their, that inspired them. This is very good. Love that cover too. This is the fun part of doing this channel and connecting with people all over the world with regard to non-commercial, interesting music, that I get to receive stuff like this that I would probably never hear otherwise. I love it. Let's keep going. I got a few more here. The other day, I played this. I haven't played it in a long time. Tom Tom Club. Close to the Bone. This is really good. And it's the blue. It's another pretty blue. And I love the Island label too. As I was listening to this, I was listening to it, and it's like I was really getting off on the on it. And then I looked and I said, oh, that's why. Valle is on keyboards on here. You know, I was thinking, well, that's not the guy from Parliament, Funkadelic, Bernie Worrell. It's not him, but it's in that space. This person has a real good feel with the synthesizer, and it's Valle. And Rupert Hine is on here too. This is pretty groovy. Way back in the day, another quick story for you. When Talking Heads came through Omaha for the first time on their the album with the black cover, I forget the name. I know the whole album. I played it, but I had a show that night, so I couldn't go to the Talking Heads. But it was the talk of the musicians in town. So myself and Joe Budenholzer, who I've mentioned to you, Backworld, he has a new album out. I mentioned him, and all of a sudden, boom, there he is, a new record. Strange, interesting man. But he and I went down to the Music Box to their sound check. You know, we knew what to do. So we went down and we got to watch the sound check. So I got to see Talking Heads play. But afterwards, I got to say hello to Tina Weymouth. David Byrne came over by us, but he was being owly. So I didn't know what to say to include him in the conversation. So I was with David Byrne, but I didn't speak to him. But I hung out with Tina Weymouth. And she was real cool. Couple more. Hajime Tachibana. Here's another one where I missed. The Japanese post-punk band Plastics came to Nebraska. I missed it. How did I not know? They played the drumstick in Lincoln, and I missed it. Hajime Tachibana was in the band. Horn player. I think he's a multi. Not just music. I think he does fashion too. I'm not sure. This is a weird album. I have two of them because I can't place where. This music sounded familiar to me the first time I heard it, and when I hear it now, it's like it's calling to mind something from my childhood that I encountered on the television at the end of the 50s or early 60s. That's what it makes me think of, but I can't place it any further. This is really good. It's not electronic, which is what you would expect. And Sakamoto and Takahashi play on this. This is really good. Unique. Acoustic music, not electronic. He does electronic, but this is way cool. Here's an artist, I don't speak the language, but boy, what a songwriter. What a writer. Marcos Valle, is that how you say his name? Previsão do Tempo. I read about him, and there's an aspect of, so he's a ladies' man, as you can see, that's part of, the appeal, but there's a political aspect to all of his records, I understand. And when I read about some of these lyrics, he's giving it to the establishment. You know what I'm saying? He's a man of the people. An amazing songwriter. I forget the name of. He had a big hit. I forget what it was. He wrote a big hit. This is very good musically, and it's even slightly psychedelic. Musically, Brazilian music is very, very juicy. Very, very juicy. I love it. Okay, Sunday this came up. I was looking at posts online, and someone was showing the guitarist Janne Schaffer. He played on all the ABBA records, but he also did a lot of jazz rock. I have a couple of his albums. I put on one, I put it away because it was like disappointing, but this one is good. Traffic, Janne Schaffer. There's an aspect of this where it's like it's really light and music to live by, music for driving the car, just really kind of upbeat. Good writing though, and good playing. He's not a show-off, but as the music is going and you hear him do different things, you can hear that he's a very good guitar player, has a lot of technique, but he's not a show-off. Janne Schaffer, Traffic, good album. And the last thing I have that's sitting out that really got played is this. Because I was thinking maybe I'd sell it, but no. G.S. Sachdev, Full Moon. This is back from the 80s when New Age music was all the rage, and the Fortuna label was a label besides Windham Hill and Cook that we were seeing in the shops. This is shakuhachi music, basically solo, very meditative, but real. The calm feeling that this music produces is very real. It's not wallpaper. That was what I disliked about the commercialization of instrumental modern music, calling it new age, that it opens the door for all this pap and faceless music. And there was a lot of it, which I think killed what new age could have been in the market. So there's some records for you. And thank you. I actually got a couple of sales yesterday. There's really no reason that, like I say, we have a Bandcamp Friday coming up next Friday. So if that's what you're waiting for to show me support, it's coming. But I technically sold out of this yesterday. Dereck number 2. This is sold out. I have my personal copy, and I'm going to do like what Simon Joyner suggested. Keep a couple copies, even when you say it's sold out. Keep at least 6. I only have 2 left of this sealed. I put this out in 2004. I'm very proud of this. I sing on it. It's online. You can listen to all my shit. But for the next sales that I get, I noticed that I had these extra. Sometimes when people send me stuff to review, they mess up, or maybe they intend to, and they'll send me more than one copy of something. So FPE is a label out of Chicago that I am on. Future Still is on that label. I dare say that I can make another record for them. I'm sure I can. But they sent me some cassettes. I forget what this sounds like, but this is called Throwaway Hand That Takes. It's a cassette on FPE. I've got 2 extras of these, so I'm going to throw one in. The next order I get, whoever gets it will get a cassette as well of that, or this is another FPE compilation, FPEXL. I can't remember. I don't think I'm on this. I'm on a compilation on FPE, but I think it's only digital. But this is another FPE compilation cassette. Whoever buys something next, I'll throw one in to sweeten the deal for you. How's that? Okay, so it's 20 minutes, but I'm going to just try to wrap up. Once again, thank you very much, people, for your support and understanding. And please understand, don't be coming up here calling me fucking Bill Cosby, okay? Was he a role model to me when I was a kid? In ways, yes, because of what we saw. And then when he was disgraced, finding out about his behavior, it's really disappointing. But the unfortunate thing that most people don't know is that what he was doing was pretty common. But he got blasted. It's not good what he did. It's horrible. But, they took him down. We're going to take that black man down. Look at what Bill Cosby's been through, and look at what Donald Trump is getting away from. I won't stop talking about that. The really shitty double standard, the horrible menace of white privilege, and, it's normalized because it's been going for so long, And I bring it up because I listen to all kinds of music. I listen to a lot of music by a lot of people who are considered white, and that's not the issue. But I realize that since I listen to this stuff, talk about it, I get white people watching me. Maybe I can clue you in on something that maybe you don't want to think about, which is most white people don't think about. They don't have to think about the double standard, the inequality, because they don't experience it like I do. But in that sense, all white people are, in many ways, part of the problem by acting like it's not a problem, and it really is. Because it sets up, let me finish, because it sets up the scapegoating. It's one group looking at another group, like white people look at black people and say, black people are this and that. And that's wrong, because what black people are is the same thing that they are. But since you have this false dichotomy, or whatever the word is, that you see yourselves differently, you point the finger and say, ooh, look what they do. Y'all do it too. So stop that shit. So I'm happy to have your ear, if I do, to share that it's the inequality of the races and of the sexes in this world is utterly ridiculous. We are not civilized, and it doesn't get talked about. It's just the only thing we're ever doing is chasing that money and keeping the system going, keeping the game going. Sucks. Okay, if you haven't watched the David Nansen Mode Sound videos, there's 2 of them out now. There's a video visualizer for Mock the Hours, good song. I'm on bass on that. And then the new video is for this quiet song called Tumbleweed that I really like. That's me on bass as well. Notice the feelings on the way that those songs feel. If you know David Nance's records, listen to some of his old stuff compared to this new stuff. This is the best records he's ever made, as far as the way it's put together. I'm really proud of being a part of that. Quality. I'm a quality control guy. It's like, come on, that's too raggedy, And there was times when we would start a song and we'd start recording it, and the guitar's out of tune, and he's just going. And I'd stop. I'd stop the take and say, what the fuck? I didn't say that, but I would say it my own way. I said, man, aren't you gonna tune the guitar? Okay, folks, stay in touch with me. Family, hang tough with all that rain out there. Okay, talk to you later.